So my name's AJ Johnson. I'm the lead singer and guitarist for the band SUPERFLUSH. I'm also a music producer, and I work for Studio 7 alongside you. And and yeah, I'm from San Diego. I've lived in LA. I went to school in New York for music production and screenwriting. And I've worked in studios. I've done all sorts of stuff like that. But now I have my own music studio.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so the concept for this is I always ask these questions to pretty much all my clients, all my musician friends when I end up working with them, and I felt like it's a good thing to ask, and it might be cool to share some ideas, some opinions about the music making process, the music business in general, that type of thing that is information I end up getting anyways, and
Sure.
it just seems like a good idea to share it with other
Absolutely.
artists, producers. So I guess the first one was what is the biggest struggle in your making music process?
For me, it used to be I think that kind of having the discipline of seeing a song all the way through, sort of I had a ton of demos and ideas that I really liked, and then I kind of stockpile them.
Yeah.
And now the production part, since I've been doing producing for other people, that part's not as big of a thing. I can usually get that stuff done pretty quickly. A lot of times it's the lyrics, writing the lyrics and kind of finding something that is cohesive and sounds good. I'll get in my head a lot about how to sing something, or if my voice sounds bad, which I think is natural. I think a lot of people have that same issue.
Yeah.
So it's usually with the vocals and with the lyrics.
Yeah, you have the same issue when you do stuff for other artists, or is it more just for your own projects?
It's just for my own stuff, which I'm very thankful for. If it was for other people's stuff, that would suck.
Yeah.
No, other people, I get really inspired with my clients. I really love working with them. And I think the writing process comes in because I can remove myself from it and try and look at it from their perspective. And that really helps. But with my own stuff, you're always kind of second guessing because you're like, does this line work? Or does that make sense? Where's the logic? And so that stuff can get tricky. But even then, I've come up with ways of trying to kind of beat that. Giving myself deadlines has been a great tool. I'll be like, look, I only have 2 hours to do this. And then it's just okay, whatever you do is it, So that's helped a lot for sure.
You have any tips or what you do when you're sort of, you have the writer's block, I guess, but I guess you sort of answered.
Well, I mean, there's other ways. I mean, deadlines is really, really helpful. Getting feedback, I send my stuff to you, I send it to other people. You really, to get out of your own head is so important, because I mean, once you're mixing something, you've heard it so many times. It's really hard after the 100th time to be objective and not think that it's bad. So sending it to someone with fresh ears is that's a big one too, for sure.
Yeah, and you kind of have to trust that process, I guess, and get that experience.
Yeah, for sure. And just trust that your collaborators or the people around you, they're not gonna lie. You obviously want creative. I mean, I hope not. You want that creative feedback, and if it's not a great song, it's yeah, that might suck for a day, but move on to something else, and you can always work on another thing. So
yeah, that's true. I was talking with a producer a couple of days ago, and he put it in a way. He said about getting picky with details and getting into your head and stuff like that. He kind of put it in a nice way. He said you just have to sort of trust the process and get it to a point where you release it, you write it, you release it, and the song just kind of takes the life on its own, So you just have to trust it that when you finish and you're releasing it, that's it, and let it let it be what it is, I guess, and like trust that it's gonna take a life on its own.
I mean, that's the thing is like, once you've heard it so many times, the cool thing is, once I get like back, usually a mix from you, it's always like, okay, this, I can tell like it's polished, it's there. And then I'm like, okay, it's kind of like you said, it's like, it's its own thing now. And it's not really yours. Like people always laugh when I tell them, they're like, you're not like listening to your music all the time. And it's like, no, like, it's like, I'm very flattered that people care. Like that's amazing. And I feel so lucky. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of their thing now. Like it's their memory and it's their, like influence, it's whatever they want it to be.
That's
I think it's beautiful too,
Yeah. Second question we had was, what's your advice to someone trying to make and release their own music?
I would say, just keep practicing. Like, try it, like just make demos, make tons of stuff and put stuff out there, and like, don't be afraid to put stuff out there. I think people always have this idea, and I know I do too, and I did for a long time, of like, it has to be like this, like I'll have to feel like it's perfect, and it'll never feel that way. So you just have to put it out there, because no one's ever gonna like look back on that like early thing and be like, wow, that was awful. Like they're gonna look at the good thing that you did and be like, I love that. So I'd say just like put stuff out there. We're still putting stuff out there, and it's one of those things where you just, as long as you're getting yourself out on SoundCloud or whatever platform you like using, that stuff will accumulate, and you can kind of build off that momentum.
Yeah, so kind of crossing over from what we said before, going through the process, releasing your music, and then I guess what's been your like just technically like your releasing song process, if that if that's a way of
we'll get like the final the masters back, and then we'll have all of those ready, and then we'll go into album art. So for my band, for SUPERFLUSH, I make all the album art because I love Photoshop. I'll pick like a picture or a piece of artwork that I've made that's meaningful to me, and then we'll get it all uploaded onto like DistroKid. I mean, that's like one of the most common ones, is you just use DistroKid. Super simple. I think it's like a 2-page process. And we just like, that's our hosting platform, and we'll pick a date. It's important to remember that, a huge way that people get found nowadays through Spotify playlists. It usually takes, you have to give Spotify, I believe, like a 3-week runtime before release if you want to be considered for playlists. So I would recommend, like, if you're a new artist, you're releasing music, give yourself like a month. Just, basically in between the date that you're on your computer on DistroKid and the date you want to release, because that'll at least give you a shot to get on some of these big playlists, and it's not like a guarantee. Most of the time they don't, but you never know. It could change, like, a huge portion of your listenership and like add a bunch of fans. So
that's good. And I guess this like crosses or segues to the third question I had for you, was if you had any thoughts or advice on what you guys do for promoting, marketing your music, that type of stuff.
I mean, we use Submit Hub. That's basically a platform that allows you to you go online and you basically pitch to influencers. They have like a network of influencers. I believe you do have to pay for like credits within the site, so it's not free, unfortunately. But it's really cool because basically they either have to accept your submission and add it to their playlist or to their whatever content they're making, or they can deny it, but they have to give you feedback. Which I think is great, because that's like such a useful tool, and sometimes like their feedback is nothing and it's just they didn't, whatever. But it's really helpful, because like I remember with our first song, Answer, like the feedback was always like the intro is too long. And I was like, look, that's not wrong. Like the intro is kind of long. I wouldn't change it, because I like long intros, but I get it. Like these people were looking for, 5 to 10 seconds and then like singing, and ours was like 30 seconds. So Submit Hub. Obviously TikTok is huge right now. Like doing videos, you can do little simple things of you dancing to your own song, or like whatever, duetting with other people. That's huge. Instagram Reels, really big, or just Instagram posting, just getting stuff out there. I mean, YouTube has like shorts, because their new thing. That's kind of kind of an interesting way of putting stuff out there. So just, yeah, kind of networking and getting your friends like involved. That's kind of I would say from our thing, it was like a grassroots kind of thing. It's like all of our fans are like people who are kind of around our sphere and like kind of like what we're doing and like our style and our sound and stuff. And so we were able to tap into that.
And you guys did some like music videos for like some of the songs, right? I remember
yeah, we did.
telling me you did some YouTube promotion and stuff like that. And I think worked fairly well.
Yeah, no, it was great. We had one of my good friends and collaborators, Jimmy Prosser, and his basically another editor and camera tech, Noah Hecht. They're really, really cool. And they came in and they were like, we want to shoot a video. Nice. So we did like for Answer, we did like more of a kind of a graphic video, but for Saturn, we did like a full on like shoot. And yeah, we paid for like basically placement ads on YouTube. Nothing too huge. I mean, we didn't have like a crazy budget for it, but it got traffic and it was really funny because we'd get all these comments on the thing that would be like, I didn't mean to click on the ad, but I'm glad I did. And I was like, wow, that's a great compliment. Like, yeah. I know you're hearing it because it's an ad, but like, that's awesome that you even thought to comment on it. And then other people will be like, this sucks, or like, whatever, you get classic YouTube trolls or like whatever, but most of it was very positive and it was cool. So I think we built listenership that way too.
2 follow-up question on that is that with Summit Hub, do you guys have like a specific strategy? Like you just kind of like try different, what's, because I know like there's different like
there's categories,
categories and like volume of like people you can like submit to. And
we submitted mostly to like influencers. I don't know if that was like a subcategory. We weren't submitting to and like playlists was our main thing. So yeah, people who like had playlists, and then we did some TikTok things too.
Yeah.
But because I remember there was like some videos on TikTok that weren't by like big people, but they were getting circulated, like someone just dancing to Saturn, like walking down the street or like whatever. And you'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like that's crazy, So stuff like that would happen. We actually had a kid, this was like the most bizarre one, but it was definitely the most memorable. we had this kid who posted a video of Answer. It was like the sound was the song Answer, but the video was like of him showing his like a snake bite to the camera. Okay. And it was like we were like really freaked out because we were like, does this kid like need help, like medical attention?
Like what kind of snake was it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. So we were concerned. So we commented on the thing like, you good? Like what's going on? And then his response was just another video of his hand bandaged. And then he was just a thumbs up. He was like, all good. So that was probably the most unique like fan interaction I've had.
So weird.
But we were cracking up because it was like, you couldn't make that up. Like it was so specific. And I was like, this is really great. So I think that came from Summit Hub too. Who knows? I don't know. But
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I didn't know that kind of thing could go,
you never know. Maybe you'll have a snake bite sort of fan. Yeah.
The other question I had about marketing and like, I guess promotion and stuff that you had mentioned was with SoundCloud, that I know you mentioned some like cool stuff on like how that worked out for you.
SoundCloud's really interesting. I mean, I first started using it. I had a podcast in college called Culture Cult, and I would interview like bands and artists that I really loved. And I basically used SoundCloud as like my hosting platform because I didn't pay for, I paid for SoundCloud, but I didn't really know how to host it. But it was cool because things kind of do go viral on there like frequently. And there's like a certain type of music and like artists, like usually it's like younger artists and like interesting music can kind of catch fire on SoundCloud as opposed to other platforms where maybe more commercial, like bigger brand music is like more favorable, like Spotify,
Yeah.
But yeah, SoundCloud was very much like indie kind of driven, like youth driven. And they actually liked, we did pretty well on Saturn for SoundCloud. Like we actually got like a check in the mail for
that's
that.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Like, yeah. So I was like, that's cool, that they are like paying their artists. I think we got 1 or 2, but yeah, they were like, they're dedicated to that. But it's definitely different because it's a different clientele. It's definitely not like with the biggest compared to Spotify or Apple Music. It's more of a niche thing, but things do get viral on there. Obviously, like you've heard the term SoundCloud rappers, like it's rap is big on there. Indie music is really big. And so I think that's why our song kind of fit into that. So yeah, we got onto some playlists and stuff and that was pretty fun. But I love SoundCloud. SoundCloud's it's a great tool, and it's something that people shouldn't ignore for sure. If you're posting on DistroKid and you're like, you have the option to do like definitely, or you have to make a SoundCloud account in addition to Apple Music, like totally do it. It's definitely worth it.
That's cool that it really worked out like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. The next thing, I'll ask you like the production question, I guess, if you have any like favorite piece of gear to make music.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, especially with like the producing work that I do, plugins are so huge. And if people are like new to making music or to their music software, plugins are huge. Like it takes your mix or whatever you're working like from good to great.
What's your go-to plugin for, in general, like what do you do? Yeah.
I mean, well, it depends. So like if I'm using like a plugin instrument, there's a really cool, it's like a Juno, like a Roland Juno replicator called Tal Unilux.
Cool.
And I use that for everything, because if you send it through filters and stuff, it's honestly really hard to tell that it's like not a real Juno. Yeah. I think we use that on Saturn. I don't think we use it on Answer, but we definitely use it on Saturn. And then, as for like mastering and stuff, actually, that's funny. The song Saturn is actually named after a plugin.
Oh, so got it.
There's a Fab. Well, it's kind of like it was initially named, and then the inspiration took from there. So like the meaning came obviously from other things. But there's a thing called Fab Filter, which is it's a plugin company, and they have a plugin called Saturn, and it's basically like it's a mixing and mastering plugin, and you can like kind of change the levels of things, and it also compresses and limits, and it does kind of all these different things. But if you put that on your master fader, you get some really like clean, crisp sounding mixes. So I use that one a lot.
Yeah.
But the other one, I mean, it's like so common. Valhalla Verb.
Yeah.
Vintage Reverb is like, I don't know, it's like $20 or something like that. And it's like,
yeah, they're cheap, they're good. Yeah.
It's like I use it on everything. And then the final one would probably be Microshift.
Yeah.
By Sound Toys.
Yeah.
Now that one is like, people don't realize, but I think it's based off of like an old harmonizer, the Eventide harmonizer or something like that. And it's so cool because it basically like super stereo image chorus sound. So you can do like these crazy sounding guitar riffs and stuff and loop it through that. And it sounds really good.
Yeah, those are really good ones. Cool. Yeah, I guess the last thing is if you have any artist recommendation, any shout outs, people that inspire you, like any new music, anything like that you wanna talk about, give shout outs, that type
Totally.
Of thing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely check out Sana. This is an artist I work with. She's really great. Actually has a ton of new music coming out soon, so definitely keep on the lookout for that.
And I'll put the links and everything.
Yeah, for sure. And then as for like music that inspires me, there's so many cool indie artists that I'm always listening to. There's tons. I mean, there's people like I'm a huge Radiohead fan. I mean, obviously I don't need a shout out because they're huge. but like, yeah, influence wise, like they're really big. There's a smaller group is a guy named Boy Life. He's really good. He's got this album called Gelato. Okay. It's like really interesting. I haven't heard anything like it. He's got this song called Super Pretty, and it's just a trippy song. It's really cool. And then this artist, I believe his name it's like Bayard or something like that. It's like spelled Baird. Okay. He's got some really, really great music as well, like indie, cool stuff. But yeah, and then just like, I don't know, I get inspired by all the people that I work with, so it's like the stuff that you mix, like I get excited by all of it. So we'll have to like compile a little list at the end. Anyone I forgot to add on,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll
last thing. We got hoodies coming out soon, and we actually have a single. It's coming out in like a month. I totally forgot. It's called Yoga. It'll be out, next month. And excited about it. It'll be cool. Check it out. Listen to it. Awesome. It'll be out very soon. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. Go buy their hoodies because they're
these are great hoodies. There's one, Nico's got one coming on the way, but in the meantime, go check out these cozy.
Yeah, they look good. They look like super pro.
Cool, man.
All right, well, thanks a lot for taking like a few minutes, answering some questions. And
of course.
we know we'll do more, and yeah, you know, we have more artists coming to the
Yeah.
table, so it's
I'm
I
excited
think
to
it's
hear
pretty
what
cool.
else is. Absolutely.
All right, well, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nico.
Bye.
See you guys.